Like, subscribe, and comment down below. Congressman Matt Gaetz on Rose Unplugged says that there's more to come regarding Obama's State Department. According to Congressman Gaetz, Obama's State Department functioned as if it were an arm of Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Now, appearing on Monday morning's edition of Rose Unplugged, Congressman Matt Gaetz spoke at great lengths about the information to be revealed. Congressman Gaetz noted that more revelations would come to light regarding the State Department under President Obama.
Joining us this morning, U.S. Representative from Florida's 1st Congressional District. He's also a member of the House Budget, Judiciary, and Armed Forces Committee, as well as the Republican Study Committee. I get a kick out of this guy because this is his first term, and he is kicking butt. I love him. Please welcome back to the show, Congressman Matt Gaetz. How are you, Congressman?
I'm great, Rose. Thanks so much for having me back.
Oh, we love having you on this program. Okay, so we've got a lot going on here. A couple of things I'd love to talk to you about. There's a little bit of back and forth between our Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, and the President. You think that Jeff Sessions should appoint a second special counsel, or else we need a new Attorney General?
Absolutely, Rose. And when we look at the FISA abuses, when we look at the special treatment that Hillary Clinton got, and then when we look at the bias that exists within the Department of Justice and the FBI, we've got a circumstance where the Department of Justice and FBI cannot investigate themselves.
Right.
They're not in a position to be able to prosecute themselves, to be able to bring charges for potential deprivation of individual liberties and really constitutional rights as a result of the illegal spying on members of the Trump transition team by the Department of Justice and the FBI during both the Trump presidency and the Obama presidency. And so I do believe that the Attorney General would be right to appoint a second special counsel to bring these matters together, to have the powers to actually put people in jail and have consequences. Because, Rose, I don't want these revelations we've had about abuses and spying to turn out a lot like Benghazi, where we learn all about the bad acts, and then nothing really happens to anyone. Washington just sort of moves down the trail, and so I think we need to do a lot better than that this time, and that's why I've called on the Attorney General to appoint a second special counsel. And if he won't do it, I think it's a dereliction of duty. I think it means he's not doing his job, and we need an Attorney General to do his job.
You've hit on a couple of things here. Number one, I know just hearing from my audience daily, they want to know that somebody's going to be held accountable. This is just unacceptable, and we are so tired of it. As you said, with Benghazi, there was no accountability there, and people want to see that because this is just atrocious. Then you had suggested, too, that if we learn more things, anything even worse than what we've already learned so far, or think we know, from the Inspector General, whose report was said initially to be due out mid-March. Has that changed? I've heard some people say April now. Do you know?
Well, we could see the Inspector General's report, within weeks. I don't think it's going to be months before we get the Inspector General's report. And so far, the Inspector General has actually put together a lot of good evidence. Remember when Rod Rosenstein said that all the text messages were missing, that there was this 5-month hole. It was the Inspector General who said, no, I've got those text messages, and we know precisely what they say. And so I think that there's going to be good information that comes in that report. What I want our listeners to understand is that the Inspector General can't actually charge someone with a crime. The Inspector General can't haul someone before a court. They can merely lay out the facts. So we need a second special counsel to take the information we learned from the Inspector General, take the information we've learned from Devin Nunes's investigation, from Chuck Grassley's investigation, and then to put all that together into a fact pattern that actually we would bring to a grand jury. Only a second special counsel can do that because obviously the senior officials of the FBI and Department of Justice won't do that to themselves.
There are at least, I think, 24 witnesses, and some of them have left the department, and the Inspector General can't. That's out of his jurisdiction, right? I mean, that's not even something he can do. That's why you're calling for a special counsel.
That's absolutely right. The four corners of the Inspector General are limited to the people who are currently at the FBI and Department of Justice. And so, take, for example, Andrew McCabe, who was a central figure in clearing the way for Hillary Clinton, and also someone who I believe has substantial anti-Trump bias, who was FBI, Andrew McCabe, has quit as a consequence of the Inspector General's investigation. So to bring someone like that back in the fold, I think you would need a special counsel. I'm fortunate that people like Jim Jordan and Lee Zeldin and Mark Meadows have joined this effort. There are dozens of Republicans who are calling for this type of accountability. I don't understand why the Attorney General is so resistant to this. It's like he has got Stockholm syndrome over there at the Department of Justice, where he's sympathetic with his captor, and he needs to be the leader of that agency, not someone who is responsive to the swamp creatures who live there.
And McCabe, just for the audience's sake too, just to serve as a reminder, turns out that he approved the improper leak to the Wall Street Journal in 2016. And of course, people were asking, was he leaking on behalf of Hillary? And how was that email investigation then really handled? And, then Comey's press conference. And, there are a lot of questions that we have. I want to know if McCabe is still receiving a pension because, after what this guy did, I don't want to know that my taxpayer dollars are going to still keep him going every month.
Oh, he is. Andrew McCabe is still receiving a pension. He's had no benefits limited, and that's because he has not actually been charged with something. I believe in due process.
That's true.
I think that, Mr. McCabe would have to go through that system, that procedure, but that's why we've got to actually get it going. As you've mentioned, Rose, I'm new to the Congress. I've been here about 14 months, and one of my frustrations is that this place moves so slow. We've got a dynamic country with real needs, and we've got to be able to move with greater efficiency and effectiveness to be able to respond to the needs of the country.
Amen.
And it's like here in Washington, they want to study everything for years, and they don't actually want to get it here. And I'm hopeful that President Trump can actually shatter through a lot of that, and I think it's why he's so frustrated with Jeff Sessions. The president sees what you and I see, Rose.
Yeah.
The president sees evidence laid out that his own government was out to get him, both before and after his election. And he's wondering why his attorney general is so passive in responding to what I perceive to be a palace coup that was going on in the United States of America.
Well said. People were criticizing our president for tweeting about our attorney general, but at the same time, he's shown, if you will, in light of all of that you've just said, this guy has gone through a lot. I thought he's shown great restraint, but if he gets to the point where he is frustrated so much that he has to go to Twitter and urge or push our AG, then so be it. One of the other things I thought it would be funny if it weren't so sad is that you were introducing a bill in Congress. The intent was to increase the oversight of the FISA courts. So much of this, your bill was every bit the same as Schiff's bill that he introduced 5 years ago. You could laugh, but it's too sad. Really.
Absolutely, Rose. Look, we had cash at the Democratic Party convertible to a warrant to spy on American citizens. Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or a Libertarian or a Whig, that should bother you. Because in the future, different political parties are going to be in power, and we don't want our intelligence community to be weaponized for politics. So I went looking for some bipartisan solutions, and it turns out Adam Schiff in 2013 filed a bill to give Barack Obama the power to appoint FISA judges with the approval of the Senate. And so I thought, well, that's a good idea. If you have the president doing it, you're going to get FISA judges not just from Washington, from the swamp, but from Oklahoma, from Iowa, from real America. And so I went and picked up that bill and filed it because I thought, well, if it was good enough to give Barack Obama these powers, why is it not good enough to give Donald Trump these powers? And you know what, Rose? Adam Schiff today will not co-sponsor his very own bill. And I think it shows the hypocrisy of the left.
Doesn't
they wanted to make Barack Obama the imperial president, but when it comes to the very same ideas for Donald Trump, they are nowhere to be found.
Wow, I'll tell you what, we are so impressed with you, and you bring that vitality and that determination, that liveliness that's been lacking. You talk about how slow things move there. I think people like you, Congressman Gates, can make a difference. You can make that move faster, I think. I think you can do it. And you've been on top of things, and you're not letting it, you're very sharp. You're very, very sharp.
Thank you. We got a great country here to save, but we're not going to save it if we just kind of sit around, wringing our hands and wanting to study everything to eternity, and when we don't want to hold people accountable, because then look, if we've learned all about what happened to, hire people's spouses, like happened with Bruce Orr, where his wife was hired, and then all of a sudden he's valeting Hillary Clinton's political dirt into the intelligence community to spy on the president. If we allow things like that to happen, they'll happen again in the future. And that's why this moment in time is critical for our history, to be able to drop the hammer on the people who thought they could politicize our intelligence process. That should never happen, and we need to root it out right now. And that's why I'm so proud we've got dozens of Republicans working to do just that.
Some really great people working with you to get that done. If I were to ask you, in your opinion, what's going to happen next? Can we hope and expect to see something happen? If enough people are talking about a new special counsel, do you think it could happen? That we will investigate?
It of course could happen, and it should happen. And here's the scary thing, Rose.
What?
There's actually a whole lot more that's going to come out. I mean, you're going to learn about how the State Department functioned as like an arm of the Hillary Clinton campaign at the very top level.
Oh my God.
And that you had people like Cody Shearer and Sidney Blumenthal, kind of part of the Hillary corruption circle, actually moving things in and out of the State Department to try to influence investigations and decisions. So there's even more to come when it relates to the State Department. And I think the American people are sick of it. So look, Congress can't throw anyone in jail. We can't convene a grand jury.
Right, that's right. You can't.
Those aren't our powers under the Constitution. That's why we have to have a functioning Attorney General. And I think Jeff Sessions either needs to step up or he needs to step aside.
I like it. I'm with you on that. Congressman Matt Gaetz.
Be sure to share, like, subscribe, and comment down below and tell me how you feel about this report. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great day. Let's make America great again. Peace.